right, hello everyone. How are you? I'm not exactly sure what's going on. There is a lot of pain in the collective, and it's like this inescapable pain that I don't know. I do not feel like doing a reading, but I'm going to. I was like in the middle of doing something else, doing other work, and they're like, you have to do a reading right now. I'm like, okay. So here we are. Some of you may have recently seen something. 1111, Take Me Home, Pathway to True Love. 7-7, Heal Abandonment. Oh my gosh, Time to Forgive. 9-9, Open Your Heart, Set Loving Boundaries. Look at 2-2, Remember Your Identity, You Can Do It. Taking off the mask. Some of you may have recently seen or heard something that was... what I'm hearing is that it could have triggered the old you, but now you're just like, whatever. I don't think it was bad. I just think it was the reason you saw it, the reason it's coming into your reality is because you've gone through this transformation. You have so little reaction. Oh, okay. Interesting. So I'll take both of these, Whale and Horse. I think those two came out last week. So, they're saying this way. You have 11 and 33, and he has 26 and 65. So transformation is beautiful, freedom is yours, and then embrace the in-between, trust the great mystery. Lovely. Open to infinite possibility and co-create with spirit. So it's kind of giving you literally a blueprint here on this portal. I said window, they're like, no, door, no. Portal to just I'm not getting it. Hold on. It's just like your infinite possibility. Some of you are doubting. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Wow. Star, Fool, and Magician. 2 aces so far. None of this is really surprising me. Okay. Look at High Priestess with the 8 of Cups. Empress with the Knight of Wands, 4 of Cups, Judgment, and Ace of Pentacles. I'm like, yeah, there has to be a third ace here. Because they're having this massive spiritual awakening. I've been saying that for a while now. But this epiphany is hitting them very hard. So hard they may be running away from it. So I feel like you have a sense that they are both coming closer to you and farther away from you at the same time. And that's a weird statement to say. But what I feel is that they, this is such a weird reading already, is you've stepped into your sun energy. And I know this right here, this Empress card has both the moon and the earth on it, but I actually feel like you're in the sun energy, this really powerful energy. And I've been feeling that for about a week, where you could just manifest whatever you want. And you're like, but I don't want really anything. And that's how the sun is, right? The sun doesn't need anything to just be the brightest star. And he's got this orbit around you that's not round. I don't know how else to say that. It's elliptical or whatever. All right, let's see where this is going. Yeah, see, he's got like the Eight of Cups and this 23 card, which is like Eight of Swords energy to me. Internally, what I want to say is that externally things are more dramatic than internally for him, because externally he is pushed to go towards you, but internally there's still parts of him that are running away. It's weird though, right? Because I said that orbit type thing, and then there's this card, and it's like, it's weird. I don't know if you've ever seen like the pattern that Venus makes, but it's kind of like the pattern that's inside the circle there. It's like a rose pattern. And we have again a mask here where it's in reverse. That word activation has been coming through a lot. You know, I feel like something has activated him to be defensive in a way. I guess in his heart space, because that seems to be what is just coming out so much here. Bottom of the deck, black and rainbow. So, you know, void and death energy. I think he's waking up and saying to himself, there is this recognition here that I don't know if it's a fall from grace, but I think at one point he was experiencing life much differently than he is now. And I was having a conversation about this with someone, and it was like, when you wake up and you realize, you have this realization that you were basically like sleepwalking through life in a way. You know, when you wake up to your own power and you realize like you were unknowingly or unintentionally hurting people with your trauma, right? Then you realize, oh, I got myself to this position where I'm at. Like, I feel like he's descended into a sort of, I don't know if I'd call it a nightmare, but it's like the upside down almost. It's like the opposite of what he wants or had, or both. And I think sometimes if you don't really appreciate where you are, what you have, or what's going on, sometimes you have to go through those kind of upside downs, right? The underside of it, to see it as what it was. Now, I'm getting a lot of pride off of these cards, like these three cards especially, where it's like, no, I'm not going to admit what has gone on here so much. I'm not going to. There still is a lot of resistance to opening the heart. And in a lot of ways, this feels like very childish. I mean, the King of Cups reversed is not a childish energy, but it's not exactly taking responsibility for one's emotions either. And so my personal feeling, oh, these are a match, is like there is some mirrored energy between you two, but it's also like, I know the devil's not here, but the devil's come out so much lately. I can see that the next card on the bottom of the deck is Six of Cups. It's like I'm not going to be the one to end this separation. I'm not going to be the one to speak up about these feelings. I'm not going to be the one to mend this rift or to change the status of what's going on right now, because it's kind of like, why should, oh, one fell on the floor. It is passion in reverse, and you had it came out with attraction and trust. There's not a real trust of this energy, which is crazy because it's dominating his heart field. And what it kind of tells me is that it's like he's fighting himself, and you may have felt at certain points along this journey that you were really fighting yourself too, and maybe you have resolved that, or maybe you still feel like you're fighting your own heart, or you're fighting to follow your own path. Because I see here we have a strong dominant energy where I want to say, it's very funny energy. Please don't be triggered or offended by this, but it's like, it's just easier to play the damsel in distress and have somebody else come do the emotional work or save you from whatever's going on. But that's not going to happen this time. And it's like when you raise a child, I've had this discussion with so many people, but it's like when you raise a child, at a certain point, it's like you can't keep protecting them forever. At some point when they're kind of still in your care, you kind of have to let them experience, risk or danger. And so you can be there if they need you. And there's so much feeling here of that this distrust of the heart field is kind of really making you both on guard with each other. Like this energy here, it's like, I don't trust my feelings. I want a new beginning, but I don't want to be the one that initiates it. I don't want to put myself out there first. I don't want to love unconditionally when I feel like there is the possibility of being rejected or I was rejected. And look, see, make the effort, love yourself first. Part of this is there's unresolved energy around other people. And it's interesting because I feel a real sense that you could actually have some really beneficial conversations right now. Your guys' energy is lining up, like to get the King and the Queen of Cups next to each other. Yeah, they're upside down, I know, but it's like you two are in alignment in a lot of ways. And you can probably feel things coming closer together. Look, oh, that's cute. I feel for those of you that have had karmic situations go on, there's unresolved pain here that maybe sometimes when we try to ascend through the pain, we don't let ourselves go deep enough to the vulnerability of the feeling. Instead, transmuting it is wonderful, and ascension is wonderful, but the pain around it that needs to be done in the shadow work is also very important. And I think that's why the King and Queen of Cups are coming up with the Ace of Cups and the Whale and the Magician in reverse. It's like, there are two cards here I sense that aren't here. And it's like the Devil and Strength. And there's a lot, and I think the first thing I said was there's pride. There's pride here. And if you really want to grow through this, I think it has to do with Venus retrograde because of that pattern that came up. If you really want to grow through this, if you really want to transmute any kind of pain, I honestly feel like this is a personal message for me, but we're going to give it. If you want to transmute this pain, you can't just ascend. You must also, because you can only go up as high as you go down, right? They have to be, the polarity always has to be in balance. And you must go into the shadow of the heart field as well as the mind. Yeah, okay, so the mind, you're like, okay, well, he's chosen other things besides me. Where have I chosen other things besides me? Where have I put other things, other people, things above my own self, right? That's what that always calls you to look at. Where have I deprioritized my own heart, my own feelings, my own needs, my own vulnerability? Because, a lack of vulnerability, when it takes a lot of strength to be vulnerable. Like, you have to know that you're okay no matter what happens. That's the unconditional part of it, right? And if you don't know that, there's fear. And I think that's why they're showing me these two cards in my mind. It's like, where do you doubt that, if you were vulnerable in the way you needed to be right now, maybe it's talking to him, maybe it's not. Maybe it's doing a lot of different things, whatever that is for you. If you know in your heart of hearts what you need to do and what the next kind of thing you need to tackle is, if it's getting over this karmic relationship, if it's getting over heartbreak that you're pushing down, or, to me, this really appears that there was an ending of a relationship and that he went to somebody else. And you may have waited for closure. You may have waited for explanation. You may have thought, oh, well, he will evolve. And when he does, we can have this conversation, or he'll come to me and he'll tell me, I was wrong. I'm sorry I hurt you. Like, he'll make the choice that's healthy, but that doesn't seem to have happened here. And so the waiting, right? We have a lot of circles here of, it could be cycles that repeat. It could be time passing. It could be wasting opportunities, or many different things, right? Hoping that something would come back around that didn't seem to come back around. And they're giving you something here that is very unusual, to be honest, if you know my readings. It's like, you that's not how this is going to work. And it's going to work that you transmute these shadows and embody more light without what you've been waiting for. But he's only going to reflect to you the work that you've done. And so part of me feels like you're looking at each other, or you're looking at him, and you're going, oh, this is a hard reading. Okay. So part of me feels like you're looking at him with some kind of judgment or some kind of disdain of like, and he's feeling that too, is what I was picking up on the beginning of the reading. It's like he's picking up that I think he's being honest with himself for the first time, maybe ever, or in a very long time, where he's looking at where his choices got him, and he's not really a fan. I'm falling in love in reverse. Every song reminds me of you. I'm not ready. I feel there's too much competition. I never should have let you go. Wow, you are beautiful. I want to see you. My intentions can be selfish. You drive me crazy. Love will keep us together in reverse. I mean, so a while ago they keep bringing these things into my vision where it's like we had the trail that went up the hill, and then we had the trail that went under the water. And these two things kind of represented the shadow and ascension, right? And now we seem to be at a place where there may be some confusion about where to go next. I feel, because they're showing me that card, but it's like the sky meets the sea meets the land. There's not much differentiation, and they're kind of showing me, well, you may be at the top of the hill, but you also may be at the bottom of a hill, and you don't really know at this moment where you are. And that's kind of by design. Interesting. Age of Light, Akasha. See, it's exactly what I was just talking about. It's like you don't really know what's what. You don't really know what's up. You don't really know what's down. You don't really know, like, is it a field of wildflowers, or is it, a dark, crumbling pillar? So, wow, okay. We have Pillar of Light, your vibration's rising, and you are the Oracle Priestess. How are you being called to step up and lead? Transformation. Things are changing at a cellular level, deep healing. So there does seem to be a call for healing here, where you may need to really look at the level of, it's like intentionality is what they're using, of how you create your world. And that includes like how you create the cells of your body. I don't know. Star Mother, how can you mother yourself? Who or what is triggering you? I feel this is an important question. I feel that there is a tower that it's going, I say this with a lot of reservation, it's going to end up being a false tower, but it feels very real. I think it has to do with Neptune changing places, where it's going to go from Pisces to Aries and then back into Pisces. And I think that is such a gigantic shift that we're going to kind of really get a peek behind the curtain, like Wizard of Oz style. And then kind of go, it's not back to sleep, but it's like back to rest for a minute. And then we're going to move forward. And the false tower is this way of kind of, I guess they're saying priming the pump, but I don't know what that means, if it's a card term or something, but it's like getting ready for your kind of the force and the magnitude of your full, like, bravery, right? And in a weird way, so the 3 cards that just came out, where they're manifesting you. I wish I was braver. And do you ever wonder if this is real? I doubt it. Sometimes it's like they're helping you step into this level of bravery. It's going to be very big. It's going to be a massive, massive shift. That's all I can say. And it has to do with your heart field. And it says the color of the heart field, Gaia, new growth, and money. And that it's all kind of going to be wrapped together in this way that, I mean, what they're telling me is that it will be like the new system of karma. Karma as we know it really won't exist anymore. It will be much more instantaneous karma, and it will be very, this is so crazy. It's like unconditional love and telepathy, and will be like normal things, will be very, you as a divine feminine, yes, will have very powerful spiritual gifts. If you think you have them now, it'll be 1,000 times more. And but they're saying, you know, you can only be peaceful if you know how to fight, and you can only know love if you've known the absence of love. And that's kind of what this lesson is all about. It's like they are in a state of absence of love where they get the chance to really appreciate the hologram. Look at, we have Mars and Venus coming out. They get the chance to choose. It says you may be facing challenges, exhaustions, or obstacles. Cultivating resiliency, determination, and fortitude will help you achieve goals. It's not so much that they want to achieve goals, but, you know, you get awareness. If you're not taking care of your health, you get awareness of the consequences of that by feeling unhealthy. And that kind of has to do with anything, like your emotional state, your bank account, your friendships, your whatever. If you're not cultivating the health of it, you're essentially, by default, creating its opposite. And it has more to do with the fact that I think that they've taken on a lot of energies that really weren't necessarily true to them. And again, this awakening of, am I wearing this mask? Am I trying to get something by means of inauthenticity? And that in and of itself is like a very deceptive low frequency vibration. Like, I see that they're regretting some low frequency things, and you may still be seeing them doing or being that. And it's hard when there's so many layers here, especially if you have had them up on a pedestal and then recently they've come down, or you've been able to take them off the pedestal and kind of put yourself more up there. It's hard to stay neutral about that without the judgment, right? I think that's the death energy, the transmutation, the transformation that we're going through, is understanding how everyone is a balance. There may be some people who are incredibly talented, beautiful, rich, famous, whatever. And then we have to, in our society, like, we have to take them off of the pedestal and put them down. Just, they're a normal person. Just because they have a gift or whatever that you desire or would like or think is special, it doesn't make them really any different than anybody else. And for a long time I've called this like the cult of authority. Is that I think we're dismantling that. We're dismantling that, for a very long time. Like, I'm not speaking out against doctors, because certainly doctors have a wonderful role in life that can help. But they've been in our society kind of like deified as the keepers of health, when that's not really what they are. They're really like not necessarily about health at all. And that we're kind of like waking up to that across society, right? The police officers may not be necessarily keepers of peace, but against the opposite of peace, right? And that's an entirely different thing. It doesn't make it bad or good. It's just, we are in charge of our peace and our health and our sovereignty and our wealth and all of these things, where we've been like pushing our power away from us onto other people, hoping that they would kind of do it for us. And I think that's what this masculine energy is, just having this huge wake-up call of like, I created the situation for myself and I have to get myself out of it. And as far as you go, you're oh my God, look at that. You're kind of right there next to them in terms of you have to do some of this work too in order for this new beginning to begin. And you two are very aligned. We'll stop on Isis. I can see you have Mercury, he has Green Tara, and then Charity. Bottom of the deck is Isis and Krishna. So open communication, get a weight off your chest, speak up with love and be heard. I think that's a really important message if you have something you need to say. So you're going to have to determine that. I think it goes in alignment with what I was saying in this reading a lot. It says, you are protected, cords are being cut, move beyond limitation, and trust. So trust is a really big issue in this reading. Connect with heaven, ask and you shall receive. Again, it kind of depends on, what you're asking for has to do with a lot of what you're aware of. And it seems from much of this reading that I saw that there are things to say. Mary of Nazareth, the Mother of God, I am blessed. My courage gives birth to the divine. So very in alignment, that doesn't surprise me either. Very in alignment with what I said in terms of the courage. So we have Mary of Nazareth and we have Mary Magdalene. He has Kali, the mother of the universe. I release all that doesn't serve me. It is time to be the truth of who I am. So exactly. Taking off the mask. Marguerite Porete, the mystic of divine love. Love is divine and I am nothing except love. That card keeps coming out. The apostle to the apostles. I am a bridge between heaven and earth. I'm fully human and fully divine. And I think that's a lot of what I was talking about. I don't remember exactly how I said it, but it's like we have to realize like we are the creator's energy in a human form, and we are all this equal energy, right? And it isn't so much about, you got courage again, wow, purification. Mother Earth again, joy, and then Shaddai, teacher. So the Earth is playing a very large role in our ascension here. You have Tiger's Eye, courage, and he has clear quartz, purification. And let's see. Again, more earth energy. Wow. Very powerful energy. You have earth and water dragon, creates the foundation for new growth. Yes. A fresh start is coming. Yes. And with new opportunities. Nurture your ideas and harvest the abundance. I think even more, like, so this is an eclipse here on this card. I think there's an eclipse on the 29th, and you're going to line up in your energy very, very strongly with what you want. And it's important to do that. Not in a need energy way, not in a, external way, but in an internal way. Is that deciding who you are and the energy you want to bring into the world and how that manifests. He has attuned you to the infinite. Be still. In the silence, magic can happen. Be in the moment. And then opens you to knowledge from the golden age, the new golden age. Be the energy of the future. Be a guiding light. And the green gold dragon from Sirius is about spiritual technology and, remembering that to bring that energy online with you and to create, a very healing space. So we have healing. Imagine yourself and your beloved surrounded by light. Feel your relationship being healed at this very moment. If you could do anything, what would it be? The answer dwells in your heart, not in your mind, for the heart is the gateway to the soul. When it comes to matters of the heart, there's no right or wrong. Every choice you make expands your understanding of life and love. And maybe that we are going to move more towards forgiveness, right? more towards understanding. So on the bottom, wow, this is my favorite card here. Look deep within your heart, you will feel my love. My love for you is as deep as the ocean. And I feel that the masculine is sensing this massive, vast reservoir within them, like an ocean, just waking up to the fact that I think they've only been allowing themselves to feel like tiny drops at a time. And there's this huge amount of emotion. And you may feel that also, or you may have felt that. You know, you may have felt like, why am I just kind of limiting myself so much in a certain capacity when I could think so much bigger, I could feel so much bigger, I could, all of these things. Sexual union, honor the place of one another where you're one eternal soul, for there you'll find true bliss. Sacred union, honor and treasure your relationship, for it is truly sacred. And I do feel that they've had an awakening to this. I mean, many of them, this will have happened a while ago, but some of them, I think it's happening now, where it may be just this understanding that there's something very, very special about this energy, and that energy is part of them. And I feel like they're in a place where they get to choose you know, between a higher and a lower exaltation of that energy, between a higher and a lower state of being, where they may finally choose a path that's, you know, it's hard to find the words. It's not better, but it's different, and it's the path of the open heart. And the more you choose that too, the more you work towards this 10 of Pentacles. The more you choose to believe, you know, in love, and that this world is made of love, and that's your soul, the more it becomes your reality. All right, I hope that helps. Bye for now.